This is Ekaterina Smirnova, and today we are talking about a difficult subject. What do you do with an artwork that did not succeed? This watercolor landscape did not come out good enough in my opinion, so my options are either to throw it away or do something different with it. So I cut it up and see if some of the pieces could be saved. I'm going to try to arrange them in different order and decide if they could be displayed together. I'm going to try different orientation and switch up in between different pieces. When you spend so much time in creating an artwork and realize that this is not a successful piece, it is really heartbreaking to understand that. But there is no time to be discouraged. Here is your chance to actually play with it and have fun. When you are no longer attached to your piece emotionally, good things come out of it. You will loosen up and become more creative. Let's look at these three pieces. They are the parts of the sky. And I believe that this is a successful triptych that I could still use. Here is another example of something very dark and texturous. It is almost suggestive. But if to organize them in pieces of 4 and switch up different parts, there is another interesting order of the work. So maybe these 4 are best working together. You could also orient them diagonally. It becomes more abstract. And why not? So let's see what else could be done. Besides making collages of part of your paintings, you could also fix some of the parts of the painting. So I'm going to play with one of the basic pieces like this one, which does not have much of excitement, and I'm going to turn this simple landscape into a more complex. I will create few of the mountains on the background. So by mixing up some pink, blue ultramarine color and red matter, I will create the furthest shape of the larger mountain in the background. I'm using a very loose brush. This is a pig's hair brush, which is perhaps not the most precise brush to use, but I prefer to use this type of brushes because it gives me freedom and looseness in my work. The paper on which I worked is a rough paper, at least 156-pound paper, so it's quite stiff. So I am applying this layer and mixing in some of the blue and different colors together. The next step is to add also more pinkier color for the part of the ocean. So following the same orientation of the waves, which is horizontal, I have completed the lower part and adding some of the blue for the left top part of the sky. The next part is to let the painting dry until I can continue with the second layer. When the paper is fully dried, I will make another layer of the mountains using a little bit of more intense color. As well, I'd like to remove some of the color from this area by using a wet, stiff brush and a kitchen paper towel, intensifying a little bit of the sky and adding another yet layer for the horizon, which is the darkest, and that gives it a pop. When the paper dried once again, I can continue working on the water side and add a little bit of texture and ripples. You can clearly see that the tonality of the work has changed. So there is another example. Both of them are very similar, and both of them are just ripples of the ocean. So on the left piece, I will create different textures and try to make an abstract artwork. First of all, I applied plain water on the paper, and now mixing ultramarine with brown matter, I'm creating an intense color, which is now spreading so easily on the wet paper. My goal this time is to make different textures. Originally, there are only horizontal, straight lines, but now I want to make it looser and try to make a different type of pattern. You can see I also used plain brown matter and intense dark color of Payne's gray. Once I'm happy, I let it dry, and you can see that it is already looking very different. I will make a second layer, and I don't mind splashes. I don't mind of different sort of drips on this piece because I'm playing with it. I don't worry about the way that it will come out. My job is to explore, experiment, and once again, have fun. Don't be afraid to add some intense colors, because when the artwork will dry, it will become less intense. I believe that this squared paper is now looking much more exciting than it was before. This is my goal, to create something new out of old. And look at this, exciting colors and drips and splashes in different textures. In this video, I would like to inspire you to be more creative and never be upset about a piece that did not come out very well. Your homework for today is to go to your studio, find a bad piece, and destroy it in a good way.